Come on, please. Yes! 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 Yes!
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is episode number 50 of the 9 Dart Podcast, your one-stop shop for talking tungsten. Finally, after a week of troubles last week, we're in the brand new studio here. This is at the Holmes Glen Waverley campus in what I saw yesterday, Josh, from some organisation called Time Out, Melbourne, Australia, the greatest city in the world, as if that was ever in doubt. How are you, Josh?
At least. Very well, very well. Second time lucky, and boy, oh boy, we have so much to talk about. And congratulations on 50 episodes.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Incredible.
Yes, so we've been doing this for a while. First episode was the preview of Luke Littler's first World Championship that he ended up winning. Of course, I predicted both of his victories, of course, but let's be honest, he was the odds-on favourite for both of them.
He was.
Yeah, it's been quite remarkable. I didn't think when I first started really getting into darts around the time Stephen Bunting won the Masters and Luke Littler was picked for the Premier League for the first time, that I'd be sitting here having done 50 episodes of a darts podcast, but it's been really good and special to do it with you, Josh, so...
Absolutely has.
Well done, and this isn't the end in any way. We're forging on throughout the rest of this year.
Any memories that have stood out to you in your time?
Meeting Owen Bings, especially with him going on, and we've actually got him a little bit later on because he was on stage 2, where quite a bit happened on stage 2 during the UK Open.
Sure did.
So meeting him was obviously a big thrill. And being able to get to that ANZ Premier League night, that was irrespective of the Darts podcast per se, but that was still
of course.
Great. It's been good to see we've got reactions from various different people across the world as well that have commented and said, well done on the Darts podcast. So
yes, that's been very nice.
Yes. And a big shout out to all the people here at Holmes Glen who supported us and even really suggested us, like Josh and Lorenzo should be doing a darts podcast at this point. So we eventually got it going. And 9 Dart Podcast, I think we can claim a little bit, but mostly your name, I think.
I made the name.
Your name. Well, when you first proposed it, it was 90%, and then I tacked on a little bit at the end. Your initial proposal was the 9 Dart Finish podcast, and I just took off the finish.
2 of them today.
We have. We're full of. It's been the perfect name for this podcast because we're just full of 9 Dart finishes. They just keep hitting perfect. It's a perfect name for a darts podcast, I think.
Great.
So very, very well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, 50 episodes. It's extraordinary, and we will keep doing it, and hopefully we will continue to be doing this in this fantastic facility.
It's stunning.
Yes, so first-year students, if you're coming here and listening to this, this is all yours, so you better be making some good stuff in here.
Fresh walls, fresh microphones, sound system.
Last year doing this, and alumni have been here and why wasn't this available? But this is fantastic. I was just saying to you, love the ambience lighting and love the colours in here. It's really great. The equipment we've got here is top quality as well.
Absolutely.
So
world class.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And let's just get cracking in because we missed a lot last week. So we're going to actually start the show with all the stuff we would have talked about last week.
It's called last week. That's
we've just called last week or the week before. Mitch Lawrie, and we will get to him a little bit later in the Future Stars segment because there's been some JDC stuff. Hitting a 9 Dart finish as part of JDC Tour Event 3. I think he might be better at what age is he now? 15, 16? Than Luke Littler was at that age. Doesn't mean he's going to be better than Luke Littler when he's 19 or 20. But he's really showing some promising stuff. And in fact, it was about 6 years ago when Luke Littler won the Isle of Man tournament and actually played Bo Greaves on the way through. And on the WDF side of things, that was the first time he really became well known among the broader darts community as someone to look out for. And obviously, 6 years later, he's the number one, won back-to-back world titles, and is very close to getting 3 million on the Order of Merit, which is insane. Mitch Laurie's doing some incredible stuff in the 9 Dart finish as part of the JDC. He racks up titles wherever he's going. He's winning things.
I swear he racks up titles and $9 every single week.
Pretty much.
Right? So
any week he plays.
Comparison that you just mentioned is pretty true. But obviously both at that time at 15, they were both incredible. Obviously Littler winning all the youth stuff, the motor stuff when he was 16, winning those 2 titles. But Mitch Lawrie, again, he's just been one that we've been talking about every single week.
That should be a W, not a U, as part of his as his last name. Though I don't know if you or me put that down. That might have been both of us accidentally. Sorry, Mitch.
I that's me. Sorry.
But no, we got the proper spelling there as well.
We did.
So he's just been
the Advanced Tour Event 3, where this 9 Data was thrown.
This has been great. By the way, I've had a cough for basically the 2 weeks since I started really getting this during our last darts podcast. So save me, Josh. I can't have too much air going into my mouth too often. But Premier League, we go all the way back to Belfast Night 4, and Josh Rock produced the worst and best performance of the night, maybe, but
Scoreline at least.
a scoreline at least.
Yeah.
But he lost again 6-2. But the second of those legs was the most memorable possible one with a 9-dart finish. And we have, of course, the video for you, courtesy of Sky Sports and the PDC's YouTube channel. And it's not like we haven't watched this several times already, but we're going to do it again.
20 times. It's all right. I'll watch it again.
And to be honest with you, Josh, throughout this entire 9-dart finish, even up to pretty much the double, I didn't think he was going to hit it. He was in no form to hit this. And, you know, I think he's played absolutely beautifully at the start of the Premier League.
Oh, absolutely. He has fitted in so well. Is that 7th name? Oh,
When someone has the dart sort of standing up,
grouping.
you want it at the top wire. Because that's when you can just, and there's the Luke Humphreys, the Stephen Buntings, and Luke Littler, you want them there.
Yeah, absolutely.
With laying down, you want a bottom wire so you can stack on top.
He did.
He did. That was another one of these burst onto the scene sort of moments. People were talking about him lots. See, here I'm thinking, I'm not sure.
Never in doubt. And look at his reaction, ladies and gentlemen. In tears. The crowd going absolutely bonkers as always.
I actually heard...
in disbelief.
I actually heard this commentary, like, someone put them together with 4 or 5 different languages, and the Italian commentary, the Spanish commentary, the German commentary, the English one, I think. I think they were the ones. Extraordinary stuff.
That was
go next
incredible.
slide. Yeah,
so good.
But he wasn't the main man of the night. Get in. I told you he was right there.
You did, to your credit.
If we did this last week, the clickbaity title I was working on with Stephen Bunting proves his quality by winning Belfast Premier League night. With Belfast Brilliance, I think I was going to call it. That didn't happen, so that image won't be on the thumbnail. You know what it is. Of course, it's Luke Littler, but I had to still wear the shirt anyway. Of
course.
I feel like it was important to wear the shirts, even if he hadn't won because of the 50th episode. But come on, like, how good was that performance? 106 averages back-to-back, as good as he's ever been in the Premier League. He's now in the red club, and I was actually trying to work out who is in this club exactly. Phil and Michael both are in it. Colin Lloyd maybe as well, and a few others who have won and lost a Premier League match in a whitewash. So he's been either side of that. 106 average in his first couple of matches. I loved Dan Dawson. I'll call the RSPCA because Stephen Bunting's done some horrible things to the ferret tonight. That is an absolute battering. He's fantastic. This is how the night played out. Luke Littler going down early, then 106 average from Bunting.
6-0, whitewash.
Gerwyn Price again in a close one. Both of those matches, that's what he's done.
He was
this
very
Premier
good.
League.
100, 102. Very, very
Obviously
good.
not as good in his last match, but as good as he needs to be against Van Veen, who just ran out of tickets towards the end. Fantastic stuff. And this is what it was looking at after nightfall. Stephen Bunting was one off the playoff places. This is the highest he's ever been in his entire life in the Premier League. He'd never been higher than 6th. Yes.
There you go. There you go. Fifth spot there. And look, very, very close in between the, I reckon, 2nd to 7th, obviously. So it's only 5 points.
And this standing
from
was
last week, obviously.
Yeah, this was last week.
We'll get to this week's
We'll get to this week in a second. Shortly. But this was a fascinating tale. Steve Bunting's the highest ranked Englishman on this table. And I was looking for, I'm just one we didn't do an episode last week, because I was going to ask you something like, obviously there was no point of concern for Luke Littler at this point, especially after the week he's just had. But right here I was like, at what point does it become, if this continues, at what point does it become a little bit of a concern? It wasn't there. It isn't there now because he's currently in the top 4 places, and Paul Stevens been jumped down to 7th. Even though he had a match dart against Gerwyn Price, that would have put him, into the 4 at least momentarily. So that was a little bit frustrating from Stephen, but he played some good stuff at the UK Open, but ran out of tickets and missed too many doubles against your man. But that standing here was quite remarkable, and it's what the Premier League needed. This sort of more rotation of different guys winning. We've had 5 different guys win across the 5 different nights. So we went to Cardiff for the Premier League this week. Or
Newcastle,
the most recent
Antwerp,
week.
Glasgow, Belfast all ticked off. Now Cardiff obviously ticked off.
And, of course, we had the UK Open. Probably not the greatest UK Open ever, but we had some pretty strong stuff. Some great performances all the way through. We had some interesting draw moments as usual. And some big names being drawn together.
Live draw as well. That's always cool.
Yeah, the open draw element of the UK Open is just absolutely fantastic.
It's so unique, which what makes it really cool.
If this was every tournament, the PDC would have a problem with the possibility of the best players constantly bumping into each other. But because it's just this one tournament, that's what makes it so special. That's what makes it so great. And the amateur qualifiers and the non-tour card holders getting their chance to play on a big stage as well. it's just it throws up anything you can. You can't predict a draw through the way it was going. And
No,
some guys who made quarter semis, even 6th round, last 16, played some fantastic stuff along the way. And the quality darts is so amazing. Your guy and my guy, we were out on like board 6 or something in the multi-board room. Gerwyn Price was like on the multi-board room for the first time like ever. He was out on board 3, the poor guy. There was just so much quality and so many popular players that they had no choice but to leave them. Steve Bunting was playing Timo Tricol. Now, if he was playing Gary Anderson, he would have been up on the second stage or main stage. But against Timo Tricol, unfortunately, they had to bump him to the multi-board room. I have heard things about them. They still want to improve that setup, maybe making spread out the stages a little more and do sort of a horseshoe sort of round way, how they used to do it at Bolton when they played in what was then known as the Reebok Stadium. Say Reebok to any like old darts fan, and that stirs up great memories of the first place they held the UK Open. It's a pretty good facility to hold it. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. The roads there, by all accounts, are a bit awful. I would just love to go to the UK Open. The problem though is the tickets sell out. All the guys who are there instantly buy tickets for next year.
Yeah.
They don't even, like half the guys who play this UK Open either by losing a tour card or not winning an amateur qualifier, not playing well on the Challenge or Dev Tour, probably won't be in it. That doesn't matter. They're coming back. So. It's one for the purists, especially that multi-board room where you have like 6 boards in a row and all these people right up against and seeing guys we don't usually see up on sort of a platform and elevated stage. And a lot of argy-bargy stuff happened in that room over the weekend, didn't it ever?
We'll get to one of those later. But yeah, it's so cool just to have the fans just be able to move around the boards as well and see their favourite players. It's
just
great.
like, it's one like fence. Yeah. And then you're right up there and then there's a little bit of a go and then there's the stage and there's Premier League guys having a throw. So it's so quite unique, a special atmosphere there in that room. And I'm sure improvements could still be made. We obviously haven't been there as much as I really want to go to the UK Open one of these years. And again, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's probably going to have to be like 2 different. If you're coming here for Australia, it'll be like 2 different plane flights to get to the UK, and then like I don't know how you'd go there. Maybe you'd get a pass for the train system, and then maybe take the train to Minehead. I don't know how that will work.
No idea.
But I'd love to get because that atmosphere. It's the best tournaments outside of like the 2 biggest ones we have. It's so fun. It's so unique, and everyone comes together. All the tour card holders are there for the weekend. So
absolutely,
it's quite special.
Very special, very special. It's
and
such
special
unique
things happen. And Danny Noppert had another strong major tournament, and he hit a 9-dart finish on stage 2. At the UK Open against Dimitri Vandenberg. Well, they were all on camera, technically. And who was calling it? Who else could be the referee for this game out on stage 2 but our man Owen Biggs, who once again is on stage for a 9-dart finish.
With Paul Nicholson on commentary. Biggsy. People getting used to his calling now. It's great. Obviously, we knew from months and years ago, but they're both on 9s. Just saying.
Yeah. Not anymore. They're not. Dimmy could have not got maybe. He might have got a worse draw, but not many worse draws than playing Danny Noppert in a UK Open defence. And now he's plummeted outside the top 32, I believe. Yeah, we might just see a 9-darter. Come on, Danny. I know he's playing good darts here, but even this is half making me fall asleep. He's just so uninteresting.
Yeah.
That's a bit hush, but
Borland.
Can he do it? Treble 19.
Oh yes.
And double 12 for Danny. He's done it. It's a 9. Danny Noppert. That's a 9-dart finish on stage 2 at the UK Open. That was the good. The bad was Gary Anderson, who was playing extraordinary in round 4 and 5. He was playing maybe better than anybody else in the tournament. And he ran into a great Luke Littler performance. At the moment, you thought maybe he could get back. He thought he had won 8-8 and not won 6-8. So he goes to the treble 16, thinking he's leave double 10.
60-60.
And he was like, no score. Gary. I love to actually. Do we have that on the? I'm sure we have it on the next slide, but he was like a bit of this.
Oh yeah, I didn't say that.
Is that on the next? That's not on the next slide. I thought that might have been there.
Hilarious.
That was quite funny. But come on, Gary. So. Come on, Gary. Read the numbers, right? You're on a bogey. And you should have teed up tops, and instead you went back to 168. There was a lot of like really bad board management this tournament. I don't know if that was something you picked
yeah,
up,
a little
Josh.
bit.
But like Danny Noppert went for like treble 17 last on hand on 117, which is like, is everyone petrified of leaving themselves potentially on like double 19? It was blocked out on the 60s. So just go downstairs to the 19 and you'll leave single to double. Or so it was.
That's true.
Just some weird stuff. Gerwyn Price, he miscounted in his semi-final at one point against James Wade. He had 65 left and went for treble 14 because he thought he had 64 left.
Of course.
Excuse me. Just some bizarro counting through the weekend and board management stuff.
Yeah, it's strange, but no, it happens. So, especially in close situations and big major tournaments. It's tough.
It just seemed to happen a lot this tournament. It just seemed to happen a lot. And by the way,
more than usual.
Yeah, more than usual. Like, I thought the coverage this weekend from the whole ITV team are absolutely excellent.
Yeah, it was great.
I love Chris Mason and Wayne Mardle together. That's something that feels like should have happened ages ago. They're so great.
Dream team.
It is a dream team. I thought the guys on the outside board, like Dan Dawson, obviously he lives for those moments on the outside board at the UK Open. Alexa, what was her last name? Randall, I think. She came up and I'm like, I think I recognized you before. She usually works in motorsport, like ITV's motorsport covers, like Formula E, that sort of thing, and I sometimes watch that series. I thought she was great there on board too throughout the whole weekend, looked very confident, did the interviews with guys like Michael Van Gerwen and did really well. So the entire ITV team was absolutely excellent throughout the weekend. I do kind of wish they would not necessarily stick to the main stage as often. Like if there's a close game out on stage 2, and one crazy moment we should have had was Gerwyn Price's comeback against Keith Barry on stage 2. They showed us going to a last leg, and then they cut back to Van Gerwen and Wade throwing practice starts. Like I felt like there is more of an opportunity. Like you can have like on your PC TV, on your PC app, the 8 boards, and just have them as is.
I wish we had PC TV.
But feel free to cut around and move, or do like we see this in American sports a lot when they're playing a bunch of games at the same time. Like have a little graphic in the side, even if it's just like. Like a result, board 6, Bunting beats Tricol. What was it, 10-4, I think it was, or something like that.
Sounds familiar.
Yes, so I feel like there's still a bit more possibility to incorporate the outside boards, and especially stage 2, which is a proper TV setup. The other ones aren't as much, but that's certainly something I feel like they can incorporate more into the broadcast as well. But
no, I agree.
But overall, I thought very good, and I think ITV is now rivaling Sky Sports with their coverage, which is something I would not have said 12 months ago.
No.
But the matchroom put themselves together. People hate the scoreboard, but who cares? That's I think it's great. And they're not changing it anytime soon. I do like actually the fact that they changed the color of it depending on the sponsor. So if it was Ladbrokes, so it's in red. You'll see in other tournaments it actually changes color, which is interesting.
Makes sense.
So well done to everyone at ITV because I thought they did really well. But Luke Littler, without really getting to top gear at any point other than maybe a little bit in the Anderson game.
Well, we'll see some commentary on it later, that's for sure.
He won the UK Open. He went back to back and is very much nudging that £3 million mark. Damon Heta, Kevin Dutz, who played quite well and gave him a great run. Gary Anderson, Danny Noppert, Josh Rock. And Josh Rock again loses a semi-final in James Wade. The Josh Rock game, it was interesting because at no point did it feel like, all of a sudden Littler's back. But he just kind of gradually got himself back into the match ahead and won.
He did.
It was nothing like extraordinary like we've seen sometimes at the match play last year where he just really came alive after a poor start. He just gradually worked his way back in the match. He's in front now. He's won. That was really the theme of the weekend from Luke Littler. Was he did it without really breaking too much of a sweat.
No, well, we can definitely get into his work later in games. So obviously, first 11, if he starts slow, he'll ultimately find a way to get to his top gear eventually. Well, it might not be his top gear, but in a better form than the start. And that was the tail of the tape with 100 average in the end against Rock in that game. But all those averages in excess of 93, 100, 200, 400, 99.58 were the best ones. But again, Damo.
I was about to mention Damo.
Very quickly.
This really should be like a disappointing moment or a big flop or something like that, but we'll say it while his name's there.
Yes.
His action, Josh, is just... it looks like he doesn't know how to throw anymore. Like he's lost complete confidence in himself. And we go back to the game he played against Luke Littler when he beat him at the quarterfinal, the best game the UK Open's ever seen. And there was a flow to it. Even like last year at the World Cup, he was playing really well. And at the match play, he lost to Gilding. It still looks pretty good in the World Series, but I don't know what exactly happened over the course of the most recent major season from like October on. it just didn't look confident. I think he made the last 32 at the Worlds. I was predicting him to go the round before, but he did get over the line there against Belmont. But he looks a man lacking confidence at the moment, does David Heta, unfortunately. And now I don't think he makes the world match play. He's outside the spots now. He's won number 19, but he's behind guys like Carl Sedlacek's in the world match play at the moment, which is extraordinary. I struggle to see him get to the match play at the minute. He's still going to be in European tours. He's still qualified for those, so he's still got opportunities. And I think actually for this week's European tour in Germany, I think he's actually still the 16th seed.
Okay.
But so he'll come in second round. But I don't know. I'm a little bit worried for Damo at the minute.
Yeah. We'll keep thinking about it off air. But Littler, crazy weekend. He just keeps getting back. And then his comments on the next slide. Oh, my days. Look at this. If I can win major titles, not play my best, what can I do playing my best? Well, you know that set against Christian Kist back at the Worlds a couple years ago?
The very first one he played.
The very first one he played.
He averaged like 110.
Oh, God.
And the other one was, the really good one was the 1-for-1 against Ryan Meikle when he averaged 140.
Oh, yeah, that one too.
Yeah, that was the extraordinary one. He slowed starting that match, and then he went, and then he went 11-10-11, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of that one.
Yeah, 141. Christian Kist was the first match he played, and his first set he averaged 110 there too. So it was a good set, the one you were thinking of, but the real big one was the 140. Yeah, so that's what he's able to do. And he said he wants to do beat Michael Van Goen's record TV average. He needs like 125 average with just 12 darters all the way through on average. Which you can which he won't do over like a world match play final format, but he will do. He could do over like a Grand Slam group stage or a Premier League format. First 5-6, maybe a World Series where it's 7 or 8. Well, everyone's got to get better, Josh. If you don't want to see him winning, you got to get better. And the question for you is, can he hold all of them at once? And by all of them, I do mean the 11, because on the PC website, the Premier events has the all the ranking ones you'd expect: the Premier League, the World Series finals, and the World Cup. So in my mind, well, you can say what you want about majors, but for Premier events, according to the PDC, whose opinions is the only one that really should matter, it's 11. We're having the same in the AFL with, well, do the Wild Card finals really count? It's not up to Joe on Facebook. It's up to the AFL. If they say they're finals, they're finals. End of, Joe Blogs.
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah, exactly. So can he hold all 11 of them at once? He's still got to win a few tournaments, but it's just those two in Germany at the moment that are the World Cup and the European Championship is the only ones he's not gettable at who hasn't grasped at the moment.
At the moment, that's the question. Yeah, and he believed he had a little bit of a dry spell. Obviously, not doing too well in those.
Well, that was the Premier League. That's what we would have said last week.
That's what we were talking about. But it's just ridiculous. And then over here, you can't really see it, but this run of wins is the third most in PDC history, behind only Van Gogh and Taylor.
Yeah, he has not lost in a ranking. Like, ignore the Premier League where it's a different thing, like a proper knockout. Ranking televised TV major since James Wade beat him second round European Championship.
Yeah,
and before then, the only one, and this could be wrong, but I think the only one I remember before that is Luke Humphreys in 2 years ago at the Players Championship finals. It wasn't quite 2 years ago, it was close to 15 months when he lost that Players Championship final. But that streak of winning matches over 20 or more legs continues because he got the better of Rock.
Yeah.
So he's perfect since he's become a proper tour card holder. It is sensational stuff. And if you want to beat him, if you think it's boring, you've got to be better. You've got to step up your game, the rest of them, and find a way to knock him out. Or if you're Danny Noppert, unfortunately, you have to knock both of them out because he drew them in back-to-back rounds.
That's true. So there you go. He's hungry for more and more success, that guy.
Yes.
And that wasn't the only success he had at the UK Open. He also was the Premier League nightly winner in Cardiff. And, geez, he was just unstoppable. He really was. There's the results on screen: 6-4 against Josh Rock, who did play better.
He played much better from Josh Rock
for him, but again, obviously,
and at the UK Open as well, of course.
Littler was victorious there, 6-4. Then took on Gezi 6-3, 111 average, and then
111 average was just like. It was just what he did. It didn't even look that impressive. And you go there and go, that was 111?
I'm saying this so casually, like it's just an everyday thing.
It almost is.
And then took on
this
Ferret.
Final was excellent against Johnny Clayton. This was in a great atmosphere. This was a lot of fun. Clayton was playing really well, 100 average. That final was fantastic.
Yeah, well, I guess like Clayton's inserted himself into the Premier League spot very well. He's made.
Johnny Clayton loves the Premier League. He's never not made finals night, and I'm still kicking myself I didn't put him in the top 4 before
after
the start.
Night 8, we can have that sort of
we might redo that in
revised
halfway.
prediction. Yeah. So again, Clayton keeps making finals. As he's been very good. He had the nightly win. He's also been pushing semis and finals. But Littler, again, just remarkable. That was a quality final. I watched the whole thing. That was outstanding. Outstanding for sure.
It absolutely was. Yeah, the final was fantastic. So this is what it looks like after night 5. Stephen Bunting missed that match start. It never really got there against Gerwyn Price, that dart at tops. So as it is, Clayton is first 14 points at a plus 14 leg difference. Gerwyn Price, despite -1 leg difference, is second with 9 ahead of Littler and Van Veen because they both won a night, and that's the first tiebreaker. Van Veen's there in 4th. Then Van Gerwen, who's now dropped out of the playoff places. He's at 8. He's got a +1 leg difference, and that's with the -6 from pulling out against against Littler.
Shows how
night
good form
3.
is.
Humphreys is 3rd. Rock is dead last with Bunting in between those. The big huge match this week for Josh Rock is he plays Stephen Bunting. He'd be more than a finals night win, a nightly win behind everybody if he loses if he loses to Bunting, because he'll go to 7 points, and Humphreys is already there with 6 with the chance to add. So there's concerning times. If Rock doesn't pick up that win, we could really consolidate. We could be real tight between 1st to 7th, and 8th is all the ways. He's past that camera. He's back at the computers behind the camera.
The production studio.
Yeah, exactly. The little producer thing. We actually have a curtain across the back there, but it's part of the room. So it's not like it's got a whole different door to get in.
No.
And 5 different winners as well. Clayton, Price, Littler, Van Gerwen, and Bunting.
Will we have a 6th?
Will we have a 6th this week?
Rock? Could it be Humphreys? Could it be Van Veen?
Well, I predicted Van Veen last week because I'm just kind of expecting him to get one over the line. He didn't have a strong week. But
he's making plenty of finals, semi-finals and finals.
That's his thing. That's the only concern with him at the moment. Can he get past that hurdle? That is the win. This really should have gone last week, and I picked this out for 2 reasons. First of all, Barney had like 100 average in a couple of matches in an exhibition in Wales. But the real reason I picked this out was I love the right here. The closing match of the evening, Bunting was a 4-1 winner against Bunting. I believe that they meant Cullen there. Joe Cullen, Rainbow Munderveld, Gerwyn Price, and Stephen Bunting were all part of the exhibition in Wales. But that was that's how well Stephen's playing. He can even beat himself 4-1. Extraordinary from Stephen.
He beat himself.
He's really working himself into form. So that's really good. And I did write an article on Stephen Bunting's improving form and his support to darts even in Australia.
Check it out.
extratimemedia.com.
Exactly.
And Bunting, he fought his way back in that 3rd round match to get himself
to his credit. Absolutely.
Into the hat for round 4.
But this was something. Oh my God!
This was out in the multi-boardroom. Charlie Manby and James Hurrell.
Every time James Hurrell is in one of these things, I swear, it happened at the Worlds, and Manby also with.
Well, it didn't happen in the Stephen Bunting game, that's for sure.
No, it didn't. So a bit of. Do you have any sort of background to this? I did see the moment that the match start was thrown, and then afterwards.
Yeah,
but do you have any
I'm not entirely sure what the entire backstory of this was, to be completely honest with you. I think most people were coming down on Charlie Manby's side. Again, I don't know the backstory, so I can't confirm that or whatever. But that was the one bit of argy-bargy from the weekend in the multi-boardroom.
They're looking dead each other in the eyes as well, and the referee had to separate them as a result. But yeah, we don't like saying it. Again, the pace of a player, that's up to them. As long as it's not incredibly slow that you're actually making them a disadvantage, you're allowed to play as you like. But I don't think it was due to the speed of the game. Both of them are pretty quickish players as it is. But anyway, fraction disappointing, but hopefully they can sort their stuff out. But
we've kind of already talked about this a little bit with Josh Rock. If it wasn't for the 9-darter, he'd be really struggling, and he did finally pick up a few more legs in this year's Premier League, but he's really cut himself adrift here. Now, I'm going to ask the question I would have asked you last week about Littler. At what point does it become right he can't make it any further? He can't make finals nights. Maybe this was a year too early. But,
that's true. Well, first of all, he needs to get a victory on the board, that's for sure. But I don't know. It depends. I reckon the next fortnight will determine that.
Who's you got? Bunting, and then the week after. Who's 9-7? I can't remember.
Not sure.
I can't remember. Night 8 is the night where they do the first 8th, 4th, 5th, 2nd, 7th, 3rd, 6th based on standing. So we'll know that going in. But yeah, he hasn't. It just hasn't quite clicked. And it's the soap, Josh. It was the soap that really the soap really
70 or 80.
Yeah, 79. But yeah, I don't know if his numbers were like this right now, but going into last week, his average was worse than Peter Wright was when he was like not even close in that last Premier League he did in 2024, the year Littler won it. That's a concern. If you're behind those sorted, obviously he was doing about 91. I think his average would have topped up a little bit there, given he was over 100. But
needs to get going. But to answer your question, was he brought in too early? I don't think so. I think.
He's hit an eye data, so he must have done something right.
Out of all the contenders that we outlined prior to the Premier League, what we said, Noppert was one of them. Aspinall was one of them. Didn't win much that year. James Wade didn't win much that year as well. So
he did make a lot of finals, though.
No, so I think he was the one that his first half of the year was great.
Oh, yeah, at the World Cup, I went back and listened to our World Cup episode because the World Cup's so much fun. I can't wait for that next year. But we were both saying put him in the Premier League. Yes. The Premier League starts tomorrow. We have him in. Yep. So he'd basically been in the Premier League conversation for 6 months or however long that is, maybe 7.
He was still in it in the back half of the year, but it just wasn't as talked about as much due to the results.
And he had a good World Championship. He just ran into Justin Hood, who was insane on the outer ring.
12 out of 12,
11 out of 11.
11,
and then missed. It was 1 out of 5 on match starts. But what a game.
Can't do anything about that. Come on.
You couldn't really do anything about that. That was unplayable, Justin Hood on the outer ring. He just continues to trail behind it. And like I said, huge week this week because if he loses to Steven and he's like a 9.5 behind everybody, big trouble.
Big trouble.
Because the thing with this Premier League format, Josh, is you don't get cut out at any point. You have to stick through all the way through. But I actually did have a Volcanoes I wanted to say. I was going to lead into my great Premier League format idea that I said I would do on a 50th episode. But firstly, and we talked about this last year, but you should get first round prize money if you win if you make the UK Open. It doesn't have to be ranked. That's the thing, PDC. Not everything has to be ranked.
Yeah, that's true.
But we'll get to Adam Lake in a second. He did win his match against David Sharp on stage 2 there. Not that we have any footage other than him hitting the winning dart.
If anyone has it, please send it to us or a link. I have done so much digging for it, and I've reached out to people who are the followers of the show, but can't find anything as yet. But if you do, please
if anyone has footage of Phil Taylor's 2009 European Championship, I've been desperately looking for that. I'm going to go through the web archive, and the web archive keeps redirecting me to links that weren't archived while it has links that have Anyway, that's something. So if anyone has any footage of the greatest tournament by anybody in the history of darts, let me know. But even if it's just a highlights format, it's fine. So now the thing is, right, the UK Open, it used to be that they had 6 qualifiers and then 96 of the 1-8 went through to the UK Open finals, if you will. They got rid of that because there's no space in the calendar for those sort of tournaments anymore. So they just did, unless you revamp them as Players Championship events, but they won't do that.
We've already got enough of them.
Yeah, exactly. So we already have the 128 tour card holders there. The PDC will say it's free ranking money because everyone gets in anyway. But that's the thing, you don't have to rank it. This is a different conversation between ranking money and handing out proper prize money.
Yeah,
but it's
100%.
a way to get out there. My head is kind of in sort of the middle of nowhere. It's not exactly. People say, where are you watching the darts this weekend? It's Minehead. It's like, where's that? It's in the southwest somewhere. It's a little bit frustrating because you feel like that David. What I was going to say with Adam Lake was he played a match against David Sharp, another tour card holder. They both came through and got their tour cards this year, so they were both in positions where them losing was really a net negative for their weekends because of that lack of first round prize money and the. Adam Lake was, we'll get to it. Adam Lake was ahead 5-2 in his game and lost and won 6-5, but mismatch starts all the way through. So he would have been gutted if he got nothing out of that. But he got over the line, thank goodness.
Good.
But that's the one little thing out of the UK Open that doesn't sit well with me was the lack of a first round of prize money. Again, it doesn't have to be ranked. I don't think it should be ranked. But handing out £750 or whatever it is for those other 32 players who get knocked out in the first round, I think would be good. And I also think, and we can talk about this in other tournaments, I also feel like they should bring down the 4th and 5th round from race to 10 to race to 8. That way it sort of condenses things, makes it a bit more chaotic. And like a lot of these, we have so much darts at the moment. The only real way you can simplify it is go, well, instead of a race to 10 in this round, we're going to make it a race to 8. And that way you build your way into a tournament. There, you've got to win a couple games by first to 8, then a couple by 10, then 11. Instead of like, you see the European Championship, it's a race to 6, then we're jumping for a race to 10. Like, build it over the weekend.
That's a good point.
So that's what I would do. But maybe that's a proposed form for another time, Josh, because I finally...
Oh, yes. Here we go.
Here we go. Much anticipated. My Premier League format. No wasting around. Here we go. right now, and some
yours.
people were talking about the Premier League for next year off the back of Noppert and Wade making runs. Let's not talk about next year's Premier League format until we get through this year's Premier League, please. But right now, as I've said in various places,
yes,
the Premier League needs a bit more objectivity to its format or its qualification criteria. We have the top 4 in the world, but after that, it's just basically vibes. Like whatever you really want. If you want Paul Lim in the Premier League, like that's no
Great
different,
idea.
which is an awesome idea. It would
Adam
be
Lake in the
fantastic.
Premier League.
Adam Lake in the Premier League. Why not?
Please.
You can have anybody you
Simon
want,
Whitlock.
seemingly. Yeah. Phil, if you're around, you can come back in and try and win one last time. Come back in, Phil. No.
Let it go.
But so what we need is a proper objective criteria.
Yes.
So here is how I would set it up. 8 is too few. 10 players it needs
for the
to be.
TV or
Yes.
yours?
All right. So we're having 10 players. Main 4 order of merit as usual. Then we're taking the top 4. I've got the annual order of merit. It's the ranking system from the World Masters to the World Championship before the Premier League. So if it was this year, Josh, we would have had, obviously, the Lukes, Michael, and Van Veen.
Yep.
The top 4 on the annual merit would have been Gerwyn and Johnny, who were in this year. We also would have had James Wade off the back of his couple of runs to finals and things like the UK Open and the World Match Play, as well as Ryan Searle. He would have been in the Premier League because he made the World Championship semi-final.
He did.
I will allow 2 wildcard spots because I know the PC won't want to give on that completely. So my only little caveat is, one, if the defending Premier League champion isn't in those first 8, he gets in automatically. But otherwise, the 2 wildcard spots, you had either make a major final or win a European tour. So Danny Noppert gets nothing. He lost. He lost it all. He's not even in the conversation. In the conversation would have been Josh, Stephen, and Nathan. Yep. As the main guys. In theory, Nico Springer could have been in the Premier League because he won a Euro Top, but he's not in the conversation. They would have picked Josh and Stephen, I'd imagine, because they picked them ahead of Nathan, so that's what I've done. 16 nights plus finals night. They've got to change the venue in Manchester, or everyone's been saying move it to the Co-op, so we'll do that. The Rotterdam Arena is too much of a breeze gate every time we go there, so we're either going to the Amsterdam one where they hold the World Series finals, or the room next door, the Ziggo Dome. Brighton's, we don't need you in Brighton. We'll go back to Exeter because that's closer to the UK Open. Really, there should be a night off of the Premier League before the UK Open, but that's not happening.
Stacked schedule. There's just too much going on.
I want to take a Premier League night to somewhere in Poland. That's where they held the Glitz was where they held the World Series event. We could go to Krakow anywhere like that, and I'm bunning off Sheffield, or take a couple out of England. There's a few there in the middle, the Nottinghams, the Sheffields, the Leeds. They're kind of all sort of in the same sort of area, so taking them one away doesn't hurt it like if we take it away from Newcastle because there's nothing really in the north. So then the 16 nights plus finals night at the O2. How the nights would work. In phase 1, Josh, every Premier League player would play each other once through the first 9 weeks. There would also be a predetermined double matchup at the end of the night. I'm bringing back 2019 and 2020 challenges. So for one night only, someone, and this could genuinely be anyone, there's no qualification for this, any guy, and preferably you'd want hometown hero sort of things, will be able to come in and take on a Premier League guy. The John Henderson, Michael Van Gerwen example in Aberdeen is my favourite example of that. That was absolutely sensational.
That was.
And because that was last game of the night, it really amplified it. You have to do a double matchup because if you do that all the way through, you come up in a situation where everyone's played each other once and then their double matchup, except one. So you have to do a double matchup at the end of the night. And with that, you'll have everyone would have played 11 matches, bottom 2 eliminated. Then we go into phase 2. These matches will have you play everybody once of the 8 left, and then 4 of those guys will also play a second match. If you do that, so that's 2 matches 1 week, 1 match the next week. That's 3. You do that 3 times over. That gets you the last 6 nights. So there's 2 predetermined double matchups, probably based on the standings. It's either a first, second, third, fourth, or a first 8, second, 7th. One of those type of situations. Top 4 finals night remains unchanged. So each night of the Premier League, nights 1 to 16, currently 7 matches or first to 6, best of 11. My format, 6 matches, best of 12, race to 7, possibility 6-6 draw. Give me something a little bit unique, something a little bit different with the Premier League we need. So bring back the draw, first to 7, 6-6 draw. So this is how it would have looked. Possibly this year, maybe, if we went. So this is the Belfast Premier League night, how that might have looked. So we start with Gerwyn Price. So some of these matches actually did happen in real life. Gerwyn Price play Michael Van Gerwen. I put Wade and Searle together because obviously they're
I like it.
They're the 2 that weren't in it this year. Littler, Clayton, Humphreys, Bunting, Rock, hometown here against Van Veen, and then look what I've done with the last match. Gerwyn Price comes back and he reignites his rivalry. They've had some real proper clashes in the past with Daryl Gurney. I put it in italics too to show he's the nightly challenger as well.
Yep.
Because that's what they did with the on the Wikipedia pages for those few years. So, and by the way, these images are all off the PDC website. So this is how it might have looked in the Belfast Premier League night. Again, this would have been better with last week. That's how it would have looked. Second, this is a phase 2 night, so we binned off Wade and Searle, imagining they've been eliminated. This is actually, I think it's the night in Glasgow. These first 4 matches will happen in this order. Littler, Rock, Price, Bunting, Clayton, Van Veen, Humphreys, Van Gerwen. The 2 double matchups, if you will, at the end of the night, Rock, Bunting, Littler, Price, but it could be in any order. As long as the players who play the first 2 matches play repeat at the end of the night, so they get the most time off. So that's how it would have operated. Josh, you would have had 2 guys play 11, everyone else played 20 matches across 16 nights, and then top 4 go through to finals night. What we've got here is we've got a stacked, a busy evening of darts with 6 matches instead of what was like 4 or 5 in the old format. So we get, I think, a nice balance of that. We've got something different with the challenges and with the possibility of draws, and the most important thing, the maximum amount of times you can play each other in this format up to like the up before finals night is like 4. Where in this format it could generally be like 5, 6 more. So and 4 is probably a stretch. It's probably going to be 2 or 3. That's how it would have operated. I think it would work excellently if the PDC was willing to take this on board.
There is a lot to take in there.
And you could keep it at 16 nights. I was originally thinking maybe you go 17, 18, but with the space we've got, just keep it at 16 plus finals night. So that's how it would have looked. I think that would have been a better Premier League than the one we've currently got, which is actually going quite well.
Okay. There you go. There is a lot to take in because that's the first time I've
loaded that on him. He has not seen that at all. I've highlighted at the back of the... but yeah, so we've got some double matchups, but for the most part, it's unique every week. We've got a challenger, which was great. We've got the element of a draw, so everything. So what it's going to be is the Premier League is going to be a little bit different, which is what it needs to be. And when the PDC started, every tournament had something different. The World Championship was set play, the World Match Play had to win by 2, World Grand Prix double start, UK Open draw, European Championship off the Euro Tour Order of Merit, Players Championship finals off the Pro Tour Order of Merit. Everything's got to be to have something a little bit different with their qualification system and how many players and the format of the matches, and you would get this with the Premier League. Plus, you'd have 10 players, which I think personally is the right amount. I think that we'd have 10 Premier League players, quality enough.
All right, question. Price versus Gurney. If Gurney was to win the game, what would he get?
He would get a little bit more prize money than he ordinarily would get. When they did this in 2019 and 2020, you got different money if it was a loss, draw, or a win.
To his order of merit?
No, this is the Premier League's still non-ranking.
Okay. Interesting.
And any challenger wins doesn't mean anything to the tables. It will take points off the main guys, but it wouldn't do anything off as it was in 2019 and 2020.
I like the Wade and Searle inclusions. I like those, yeah.
And the other thing you would do with this, as we saw in previous Premier League, if Van Gerwen had to pull out, you might get Van Veen and say, all right, you're playing him in a few weeks. We'll have Price Van Veen, Rock Van Veen. And then when we get to when that match should have happened, Van Veen gets the night off and Van Gerwen plays twice.
Okay.
That's how they would have done it in the old format when someone missed out. Now it's just someone gets a walkover and might not play to the second last match of the night for the first time, which is frustrating. There's a lot there, I know, but if they were to format it like that, I think we'd have a better Premier League than what we've currently got.
There you go. Wow. Take that all in, folks.
That was quite a bit to unload. I've been thinking about this. Excuse me. I've
lots to take in, that's for sure. But no, I like it. I like it. It's unique. It's different. It's good. I like how you did the phase 1, phase 2 thing.
Yes, cool. I think it's important for someone who's really struggling to sort of cut them away so they can really focus on European tours and pro tours, things that probably matter a little bit more to their certainly they will matter more to the ranking side of it because it's non-ranking event, the Premier League. But yeah, that way you condense a little bit, and we're not going into weeks like, well, Peter Wright won't win this week, will he? Because he's lost the last 10 weeks. That sort of thing. Which is one way that's how it used to be. You had 10 players and you'd relegate 2. Then some people would go the extra step and go, well, those players would be ineligible for next year's Premier League. I'm not doing that because then what happens if they win the world title? Or win every other major the rest of the year. So we won't be doing that necessarily.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments about that, about how it would go.
Mitch Lawrie is just extraordinary. He hit that 9-darter as mentioned earlier, and he won events 2, 3, and 4 of the JDC Advanced Tour, and Kaya Bassel, who we'll talk about in a second, won event number 1 along the way. And there were a couple of girls' series events. These were all last week. Macy Gibbons and Lucy Shepherd were also winners in the girls' series events 1 and 2. And Gerwyn Price, this was ages ago. We should put this in last week as well, but he picked up a Players' Championship 6 title.
He sure did. Yep. So he made a good run. Yeah, this is it feels like ages ago now, but
Yeah,
yes,
because it was.
he had a good run. Took on some pretty good opponents. I'll let you see the TV there. Christo Reyes, Lucas Wennick, who's been really talked about recently. Scott Waits made top 16. That was pretty good. Kevin Dotes, Johnny Clayton, obviously in some incredible form. Then Andrew Gilding.
Making a Pro Tour final Goldfinger. Well,
Yeah.
that's something we like to see. He needs a few more of those if he wants to get back into a UK Open. Sorry, well, match play where he made a quarterfinal.
Some really
last
strong
year.
averages around the board. Around the board there as well. 101, 107, 109.
He was on board 1 all the way
104.
through. He was assigned to board 1, and obviously
It's all the footage.
you win your board
B1,
through to get to the last 16, and obviously there was no need for him to move anywhere else throughout the event. So that's something. So this was Adam Leake's victory at the UK Open, 6-5, 99.56. He had winning legs of 13, 11, 14, 13, 18, and 18. And this was his reaction upon winning. This is the only footage we have. Is a short from the PDC. But here he is. Wow. 117 checkout to win it. And wasn't he happy?
In that league shirt. It's great.
One thing I should say is the fact that that since Matchwin Sport have taken over ITV's coverage, I was supposed to mention this like the first few times, they've changed. No longer are we hearing Chase the Sun. Chelsea Dagger. We're all Chase the Sun now, which is probably better for
I like
market
Chase the Sun
consistency sort of thing. It's probably
personally.
slightly better.
Yes.
This is all you, Josh. You put this in the Hungarian Super League.
Yes, it did commence across the weekend. So that is the table there. So how it works, there are big things on the line here. So according to our man, I know how to pronounce his name.
Yetzer?
Yes, him. He's very credible on X especially. He said the top 8 after 24 events will qualify for the playoffs. And this is the big point here. And the winner qualifying for the 2027 PDC World Championship. So there actually is a lot on the line. You think, why is just talking about some Hungarian Super League?
Someone's going to get it. Someone's going to get into the world.
Gives a damn, right?
Someone's going to do a David Munya out of these.
Someone's going to go to the Worlds here. So that's prize money automatically when you get in there.
£50,000.
Exactly. So huge. We'll keep tracking of this one, but that is the top 10 as it stands. Top 8 make it, obviously, after 24 events. So spot on the line for 2027 PDC World Championships.
Kai Bassel re-signed with Target.
Yes, you did. So obviously he's been a name that we've been watching and tracking throughout for a while. So he has signed a long-term deal. I don't know how long the actual deal is, didn't say, but re-signing, record breaker on the WDF circuit, taken to the men's game with force, lifting titles, or at just 15 years of age. He's like that
These are the
Mitch
kind of
Lawrie
guys. Yeah, he's Mitch Lawrie. He's the next.
thing.
He's the Mitch Lawrie below Mitch Lawrie.
Yeah,
these
pretty
are going to
much.
be the guys who's got to knock off Littler in a few years. It's not going to be like our guys in the darts pro tour right now. It's going to be guys coming off the scene who have nothing to fear, who've been winning all the last 2-3 years, who are going to get up and probably finally end these runs of Littler.
Absolutely. So huge congratulations to him. So again, I don't know how long it's for, but again, that just shows the trust that Target Darts has in the youth, the JDC and all these young competitions that are happening, having faith in these young guys to progress their careers, which is fantastic.
Right. This was interesting. This actually made the rounds on the Facebook groups like a couple of weeks after it happened. But Corey Cadby, who could have been our Luke Littler down here in Australia, he picked up a doubles title with his brother down there in northern Tasmania. I just wanted to sort of shout that out and hope that Corey, who's really gone through some stuff off the hockey and
Bless him.
a lot of which of his own doing, but hopefully at the very least that he's feeling well and he's got a good group of people around him. And who knows, maybe one day we can at least dream of maybe at least on the ADA side of things, maybe he can sign up for one of those events. That would be cool. He wasn't in Perth. He won't be in Canberra this weekend, but we'd love to see Corey back on because watching him, I should have put him in. I haven't, but I should have put one of his matches in the Darts archive for this week because he won a World Youth title. He made a World Match Play final. World Match Play, excuse me, the UK Open. He just had a fantastic ability on the dartboard, and it's just a little bit disappointing that he's one of the great missed opportunities in all of sport, in all of Australian sport, because he had the ability easily to be a top 16 player, easily.
Yeah, great.
And even more. So So Ian, his brother, won a doubles title there in all the Tasmania, and we hope at the very least that he's going down a good path at the moment. This was interesting because we've been talking about it. Several people were talking about the last few weeks after the World Match Play tickets sold out. There's potential. It seemed to be a lot of support for a new indoor arena, like 10, 15,000 seats there in Blackpool. And if this gets done, I think it would be much easier to move the World Match Play away from the Winter Gardens because you'd be staying in Blackpool. You'd be going to a bigger room. So I don't think I didn't see any updates in the week, but they might have been. But there seems to be a lot of want to do this sort of thing there in Blackpool. So we could easily see this sort of thing happen, and we'll keep an eye on that if a brand new indoor arena in Blackpool comes to fruition. Motor Super Series, international pairs, when they did, this was a very bizarre decision of them to use all these flags of countries, including Australia, who aren't in international pairs. What are you doing? What can Australia do at this point? How many more Whitlocks do we have to send over until you give us a spot bonus?
As soon as I saw the
Australian flag, I was the same. I was like, yes. But then I saw your comments saying no Australians. Like, hang on, they just showed the flag.
You thought I was lying, no?
No, I thought you were right, but I was confused why they'd done that. And I'm still confused why they'd done that.
Explanation, please. Henry Deacon, anyone at the Motors social media team, anyone. So, nonetheless, we're disappointed, but hopefully if they do another one. This is the third... Hang on, I'm looking around here. This is the third installment of this tournament, right? And we were saying... I wrote an article that was saying Mason Song would probably higher likelihood than not be featured in this.
Paul Nicholson was in the promotional thing, and they were talking about him doing something with Simon, the former Australian World Cup finalists.
Anyway.
How can we not get in?
Because, look, there are names here that have been done before. Wales, Kurt Perry, Richard Burnett, they've been done before. Ireland, John O'Shea, Conor Heenan, they won the second instalment of it, right?
Fallon and Steve is quite the English pairing.
That's cool. Well, we had Adrian Lewis.
We had Adrian Lewis
which was
year.
fantastic. That was really good. Canada.
Neil Duff for Northern Ireland.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of these established names. Wesley,
Van Tripe,
Van Tripe. They obviously won the first one together. So good to see Peter Wachuri and David Munya. That'll be fantastic to see. Looking forward. But again,
two heroes of world darts there from Kenya.
There are a lot of nations that have been here before, and surely you can sub them out and give the Aussies down under a crack, hey? So my question is, what is Mason doing at the moment? Is he...
Oh, he might be here. He might be here for the ADA. He might be.
I was going to say, is there any ADA youth events going on at the moment? Or would he just go straight into the open...
Oh, no, it is an open thing. The youth thing is sort of a sub-segment of this rankings.
Okay. So
it's not a separate
he's probably
tournament.
there to his
So
credit.
he's probably going to be there this weekend. When is this being held? Is this...
Good question. I think it's after the
series. It should be after
series.
the current ongoing series.
Yeah, so we're in Series 7 at the moment, which we'll get to.
Yes.
But, Week 7 of Series 13. But disappointing. Come on, man. Seriously. Anyway, more Motus news. Scott Taylor was the Week 6 winner. We've got a couple of weeks to get through. Won over Reece Robinson 4-2. Again, another 4-2 scoreline in the final. What is it?
It's all happening.
84 average, 1 maximum, and 4 out of 12 on the doubles.
145 highest checkout.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Neil Duff.
4-2.
I want to get to him. Again, 4-2. I don't know what this is. Put your money on 4-2. 91.95 average, 130 highest average. I think that was for the win, I'm pretty sure, when I watched. 4 out of 6 on the checkout. So that was a beautiful, beautiful game. And look at the next slide. Neil Duff has now had the most weekly titles on the Motus Super Series stage. 6 titles. He has overtaken Steve West, my man Scott Taylor, and DC Derek Coulson now. So he loves the stage, that's for sure.
Yep.
And obviously Scott Taylor won the Week 7, so now he's added himself to the 5th weekly title. He could generally get to 10 if he hangs around. And if you include the double trouble week, that makes it 7 because he won one of them.
Yeah.
So 7 weekly titles if you include the special weeks. There you have it. We now have
Group A for week. Oh, this is the full lot for Week 8.
Yes. So lots of stuff going on there. Nathan Potter's the center. But before I get to him, I want to shout out one man. And his name is Jack Tweddle, right? I've talked about this guy for a while. He has featured this week, and I want to talk about him. I want to talk about Jack Tweddle for a minute. He has gone under the radar for about 6 to 12 months, right? But as of recently, he has done absolutely incredible. AEC Global Championship victory in November. He made a quarterfinal on the Pro Tour very recently.
Yep.
And he has been incredible. He's asserting himself as a name to beat. He is asserting himself as a name to beat. People want to beat this guy because of how well he's been going over the last 12 months. So I thought I'd just say that. Looking forward to seeing him in action this week and also in future. But he is one to watch, believe me. So, Group A standings. Nathan Potter continues to climb, 14-1. He nearly broke history.
Was the last one, wasn't it? Because I saw it this morning that he went 14 out of 14.
Nearly broke
history. Missed the
history.
ball for like a 3-3 match, and then who did he lose to? I can't remember who it was. He took up 115 to win into the match, I think. But it might have been like a Lee Evans or someone like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an extraordinary run. So we're recording these on Thursdays now, which means that we will have the full Group A standings when we do these podcasts throughout certainly the rest of the next few months. So he's into Group A. He's through from Group A, I should say.
Lee Evans, Graham Usher, and Jack Twaddle are the ones that are below him. Jack Twaddle, 4th, as I mentioned, and Evans and Usher just in the second, third spot. There is no... Well, they weren't even close to getting that top spot.
They weren't. They were exchanging.
So that's the Group A results. And the weekly winners after week 7, Steve Green, Kunu Van Vels, and Radek Sagansky. I can never say his name right. Derek Coulson again will be there. Graham Hall will be there. Scott Taylor and Neil Duff make up the 7 with 5 weeks to go. It's ramping up very quickly.
It is ramping up very quickly. This was...
We had a game?
I can't remember. It's extraordinary that I averaged 43 because I didn't feel like it. Josh is just way too good for me. 3 from 5 on the doubles. He totally didn't go 2 from 20 in the very next match he played. He totally didn't do that.
No.
And made me feel bad. But I did hit a ton 40. I was very happy with that.
No, that was nice.
But a 26 starter, and I was just left on makeable finishes
That's
all the way
second
through.
leg from you. That was very good.
The second leg was a very competitive leg,
good.
but my
You're very
approach
good.
play from like getting down for like 210 to a finish is just awful. I just can't do it for some reason. So Josh once again beating me. What happened in Dance Down Under?
Dance Down Under. Thanks to our good friends at the show, JP and the gang. Love you guys.
Don't tell me you had a fallout problem again with your...
Yes,
with,
Dark Counter crashed again. They're fixing their app. It has gotten better, but there's still lots of flaws. So it was a best of 10 as it always is every week. Myself and Will Pickering had a game, 4-4. So it was all square up until this point. Then it crashed, and then he was too good and beat me 2-0, which meant he won 6-4 in the end, unfortunately. But then I did redeem myself. I had a victory the next week against Todd Nielsen. Pretty good from here. 48 average, 61. Like, I do feel I am decent starting legs, but I can't close out. But again, different.
I'm just not good all the way through.
It was it's different to what happened with me and you. I had slow scoring, picked up at the end, and finished well. So anyway, that's where I stood 6-2. Good bounce back game there. And then we have the table. Again, I'm still in that lower quartile. I'm sort of, just below the halfway point of, there's still a few games.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, you're 12, 14, 16, 18.
Yeah, so below half. There's still a few games to play out, obviously. Reschedule and whatnot. But
you're 2/3 of the way down the standings.
I got some work to do to say that. There's 17 weeks, so I still have time.
Plenty of time to
but
make your way
I got to get quick. I got to get moving because we're now...
And at least you've got another win because it's been a while between drinks for Josh ever since he made himself favourite. And then this is, that's only your second win since then?
That was probably one of my favourite moments on this podcast, by the way. Being all, 5-1-1 and then...
That's the favorite. That's the best thing I've ever made, and like not a lot of people saw it. But that's that's my favorite thing I've ever made was mocking you and doing the flashback going back to last year and then coming back. It's like you didn't win a game. You haven't won a game since.
I won't lie.
Never go the early crow, ladies and gentlemen. Never do it.
I won't lie. That was pretty funny. So
no
there you go.
So there we go. So you're averaging 50 for the whole thing.
Like it's all right. Like I feel like 50 is my base average now. Anything under, I'm disappointed.
Anywhere from about 37 to 43.
Yeah. Like I know I can hit gears of 60, 65, but it doesn't happen often enough. But there you go. Got some work to do, but I'll keep you posted. This week we take on Scott Ransom.
You do. You said we.
We being me and my audience of Dust Down Under. We take on Scott Ransom, and let me go back on the table. He is pretty much near me. He's 3 down, so he hasn't won a game yet, but he's had 4 draws.
He's
4 draws.
So
and
we're expecting
losses.
a draw. So we're expecting a draw.
It could be a draw, guys. We'll find out playing him on Saturday. So that'll be some fun.
The week ahead, we go to Nottingham for night 6 of the Premier League. Josh, let's try and do these predictions pretty quickly. I feel like for the Pro Freet trying to go different, we should really go the guys we're in our shirts of, right? So you're going Rock and I'm going Bunting.
I do have mine
I'm running low.
Already?
I've been at this for a while.
We'll get going quick. Okay, so Rock Bunting, I have Rock. He'll get his first win, 6-4.
He'll get his first win next week. Bunting by that same score. I
Ah.
keep knocking myself into this microphone. Sorry, I'm probably annoying a few people by doing that. Clayton Van Goen.
Clayton, 6-3.
I had same score.
Oh, okay, there you go.
There we go. We're in agreement. Humphreys Van Veen. I keep changing my mind on this one.
Van Veen, 6-3.
I'll go to a last leg, but Van Veen 6-5. And Price Littler.
Price, 6-4.
Littler 6-4.
Okay.
I think he keeps it going.
Nightly winner.
How does...
I'll start. What do you think?
You go.
I've had this through yesterday. Gerwyn Price, nightly winner.
Who does he beat?
He will beat... Oh, good question. Sorry. He'll beat Johnny Clayton. He'll make another final, and he'll win 6-2.
Okay, I think Johnny Clayton will make it, and I think he will reverse what happened last week. He'll beat Littler 6-4.
Okay. Interesting. I like it. I'll make a graphic of that. I've been a bit slow on that, but I will do that this week. ADA continues. We go to Canberra this weekend. Again, same structure as it's been. Straight knockouts, best of 3 sets, best of 5 legs per set. Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday is a set play. So we won't be there, but we'll be eagerly watching it. Raymond Smith, one to watch. Brody Kling, one to watch. Tim
Yes,
Pusey,
they're
one to
together
watch.
level on top of the standings.
Yep.
And then
James
Michael
Bailey,
Anthony
one
and
to
James
watch.
Bailey, they're on position. There's also the extra element of, now, I still
Camino.
imagine, and be crazy if it wasn't, but I'd still imagine Simon Whitlock should get an automatic berth into next year's Premier League, given he won it last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'd imagine it'd be a 5-2-1 setup with that. 1 for Simon Whitlock, 2 for New Zealand, 5 for this. But everything I read is like it's up to 6, but I don't think the 6th place is going to get
Who
it. The
knows?
6th place probably should get
So
it, given Simon
we
should
will-
get the right to defend his title. It's the only smart thing to do
We'll
to
see
get people
how
through
we
the gates.
go.
So that would currently put James Bailey on the cutoff line or above the cutoff line, if that is how it's working. Penhall's the one below him, as is Pusey and Kamito. So
Well, we've got 2 blokes in the top 4 we haven't heard of before. Michael Bajowski and Andrew Shreve.
Well,
I hope I
yeah.
said that right.
Yeah.
Blokes I haven't really heard of before. They're sitting 3rd and 4th.
I was more familiar with Michael, to be fair.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they had pretty strong weekends.
Who
Michael
knows?
got to the set play event final, so we will keep in mind on that. Keep an eye on that.
Smith and Kling, same price money because they had 2 victories each across the weekend. But will we get a winner outside of the big dogs?
Those two.
We'll find
So
out.
we'll find out.
I will write an article by Extra Time Media recapping all of Canberra on the Monday probably.
Good man.
So last episode, this is a fortnight ago, but we looked at ADA stuff as it came back in WA. Returned with a bang for sure. Event 2 in the quarterfinal. Penhall, he took out 1-2-5 against the throw to go 5-4 up. So that means he was on throw to win, but Carl broke back actually to take us all the way 5-5, and then Penhall was just too good, got the maximum and got over the line. So 6-5, last leg decider.
This week for mine, we're going to the very first ever UK Open at
Ooh,
the
yes.
Reebok Stadium, Bolton. It's John Part and Peter Manley. Best of 15 legs, appropriate format, as I was mentioning earlier. Very first
2003.
edition.
Love
John
it.
Part's the reigning champion of the world. Manley is top of the order of merit to qualify for this event. For whatever, the broadcast does cut between leg 4. Sky Sports was changing channels. I think they're on a different channel. They moved to the
Okay.
main one or something like that. Manley was 4-2 up. Part gets back in the match after there's a lot of double trouble in leg 8, so look out for that one. Very close finish all the way between 2 of the best players of the era, John Part and Peter Manley, 2003 UK Open. A reminder,
Absolutely.
we are on Spotify. This podcast will be made as an audio only in the evening that these podcast drops, because I want to get it done before the Premier League. So that will be
Yes.
tonight, as I'll be probably do that while I'm watching at home and you're at the MCG for the Carlton Richmond AFL
Blues,
match.
come on.
Round 1. Do the Blues embarrass themselves again? Almost certainly.
No,
So-
that's stat. We haven't been 1-on-1 since 2002 or something, and we're on 1. We'll find out. Anyway, that's for another time.
Extra Time and Nine Hour Podcast available on Instagram. Follow both of those accounts.
Yes, please do.
Well done, Josh. 50 episodes up. I hope that everything's worked out behind the scenes and
Right.
the camera hasn't fallen off or the thing hasn't fallen asleep. Again, audio
Charged,
only
fine. Yes.
podcast will be available in the evening. Thank you very much, Josh.
Pleasure as always. That was great fun. 50
That was great fun.
episodes up.
50 episodes up. Luke Littler going back to back, winning the UK Open, and he's back in the top 4 in the Premier League standings as well
Yes.
after a slow start.
Modus always, ADA's back. That'd be great. Tons to look forward to this
But
week.
the big match this weekend, Rock
Yes.
versus Bunting.
Yes.
Who gets the better?
Will Rock
after
get
Rock,
his first win?
after he beat Bunting in the UK Open, but
He
this is
did.
shorter format, different stage. We'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for listening, especially if you're in the club of listening to all 50 of these podcasts.
Yes,
Let us know
absolutely.
in the comments below if you're in the club of all 50. This has been the 9 Dart Podcast.